Well, hello. This is Bev, Miss Bev, or whatever you want to call me, Sister, Lady Bev, Mama Woodard. Some of them call me Mama Woodard. My children call me that. But I'm coming on live, and I told you that I was going to come on and do a few videos of us getting prepared for our New Year's dinner. And so I've got my son Melvin, who is going to be cooking some. He'll tell you what it is. I'll let him tell you what it is. But he's going to start off, and then I'm going to pick up where he stops. So I'm going to bring Melvin on in. Okay. This is my oldest son. This is Melvin the fourth. He's named after his dad. So this is my firstborn, right here.
Kind of bend down.
Yeah, you got to kind of bend down because you got to get you in and the stove. But
right.
So yeah, he's a little taller than me. But so Melvin, I'm gonna let you take it from here.
Okay, fantastic. So first of all, Happy New Year to everyone. Hopefully you all having a smooth beginning to your New Year's.
You gotta bend down.
But here we go. So what I'm going to be cooking this evening is not a primary dish. It's kind of like a little side dish. If you know me, I like to cook with Asian spices. I like Asian food. That's what I'm really good at cooking. So today I'm going to be cooking sauteed sesame ginger mushrooms. All right, so we got our pound of mushrooms here, as you can see, right in the bowl. And got some ingredients over here that you can't see, but
we're gonna turn it.
We'll turn it, okay.
We'll turn it.
So just to give you kind of a primer, we've got our Caratino cooking oil. Of course, this is cholesterol free.
I turned it.
Got it? Okay, excellent.
Okay.
We've also got pickled ginger. Of course, that's going to be important. We've got coconut liquid aminos, which is soy-free seasoning. So this is a soy sauce. It's just a healthier version that you can cook with. So if you want to cook with a healthier soy sauce, this is also a great alternative. Then, of course, whenever you're cooking with Asian spices, you want to use rice vinegar. Just adds a lot of good flavors to your food. And we've got a little bit of coconut sugar. I'll be sprinkling about a teaspoon of that in there. Just a healthy form of sugar. Of course, we've got the sesame oil. And a little something to garnish it with at the end. But, okay. But the first thing what we'll do is we'll put a tablespoon of this Caratino cooking oil in the pan. I've already got it preheated here to the 4 setting. We'll be turning it up here in just a moment, but throw that in there. Make sure the oil gets wrapped around the pan. And we'll take that, okay. We'll take our pound of mushrooms. Toss all of those in. We're gonna let that cook.
You want to turn your fire?
Yeah, I want to turn that fire up. Got a little utensil that I'll use here.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna do this.
And so, as we cook this, what you want to do, the thing with mushrooms is that when you cook them, you want to make sure that the water is all released. So it takes about 5 to 8 minutes for this initial process. So while that's cooking, I'll go ahead and kick this back over to Mom.
Okay, so here we go. So what I was just doing a moment ago over there is I was getting Dr. Woodard some more of those beans that I cooked. That was his second helping. So remember, I started with those earlier today, and I told you I was going to come back. So the beans are done, and I'll let you see them. I'll let you see a little bit of it. This. So here's the beans. Right here, they are savory. They smell good. They're delicious. I sprinkle a little bit of this coconut sugar. It's like a brown sugar, but I sprinkle that on top, stir it in there, and these are delicious. So I'm going to set these over here and let them cool off, and I'm going to get ready to eat some. But, so how many minutes for this, Melvin?
Oh, about 5 minutes.
So he needs 5 minutes for that. So here we go. What I'm doing over here is I'm cutting up, so I've got my cabbage. I'm going to do, and I got to back it up. So this is a big bowl of chopped up cabbage. I'm doing my fried cabbage, and I'm going to start off with some sunflower oil. I'm going to go ahead and put that in this pan right back here. And that was about maybe 2 to 3 tablespoons. Going to go ahead and turn that pan on. And so before I put my cabbage in, I add to that red peppers. I add yellow peppers. So I've got red, yellow, and I'm just going to do red and yellow because the orange that I'm adding, the carotene that I'm going to be adding is my carrots. So I also add carrots. I add carrots. I add the yellow pepper, which is right here. And I'm going to just chop up some more of that. And I'm going to put it in this bowl right here. So you see that? These are those. I'm adding that to my cabbage. The other thing I'm adding to my cabbage is I also saute some chopped celery, and then here you have my carrots. So I kind of add these things first, and then I toss the the cabbage in the pan with those things. Also some crushed garlic, so I'm going to do that too. So while this pan is heating up, I'm going to go ahead and throw these carrots in here and some of this celery in here. All the carrots and some of that celery. Because I'm going to need some of this celery for the red spicy slaw. Alright, so I'm going to put those in there. Got my peppers, I'm going to throw that in there. The other thing I'm going to throw in there, of course, you got to have some white onion. So I've got some onion here. I'm going to throw that in there as well. This is all for my famous cabbage. I don't know how much we're going to get done for you all to see tonight, but we're going to try and get as much done as we possibly can. So, there's some onion. Alright, and just so you see the vegetables, I've got onion, celery, carrots, red pepper, and yellow pepper. I'm going to let these sweat for a little bit. Throw a little Greek seasoning on there. And then, Melvin, you can come on back.
All right.
I think it's been about 5 minutes, Harry.
Okay, yeah, it's been about 5 minutes. Okay. Set this up a little bit. All right, guys. Coming back to you. So, as you can see, mushrooms kind of coming together very nicely there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add another tablespoon of the caroteno. Okay.
Caroteno is an oil with 0 trans fat, and it's better for you for frying and all of that.
Right. A lot healthier alternative to other oils out there. Very good stuff to cook with. So we'll just shake that up there. Continue to let that cook. And so what we're going to do now is that we want the mushrooms to brown. Alright, so as this is cooking, now it's kind of brown, it's because of the oil, as you can see, but I'm going to let this brown for about another 5 to 8 minutes. So I'll kick this back over to Mom, and then we'll begin to add our spices and everything else. Alright.
Okay. So these are sauteing. This mixture is still sauteing a little bit. I want these onions to become just a little translucent. So I add a little bit more oil. I need those to cook a little bit more. And then I have some fresh basil that I'm going to throw in there. Just a few leaves of fresh basil. I'm going to add that. into the mixture. And as those are becoming more and more translucent, then I'm going to add some of these fresh toes of garlic. So I got my garlic crusher somewhere around here. Melvin.
Right here.
Okay, Melvin was using it. Well, he needed to use it, but he doesn't need it right now. So I've got 1 toe of garlic here. Going to put in there. 2nd toe. Going to put in there. And then our 3rd toe. Going to put in there. And I think that's good. If I need more, I will certainly add it. And I'm going to pull all of that excess out of there because I want every bit of those toes of garlic. I'll give this back to you now.
Yeah.
I'm going to stir in the garlic. Like so, like that. Oh, and it's becoming very translucent. Okay, so now that the veggies are becoming tender and becoming translucent, I'm going to add some of this cabbage to the pan. Drop it in there. Drop it in there. As I drop that in there, I'm going to be adding more seasoning. And Melvin, if you could look in that cabinet and get me some of that vegetable stock. You see it? It's in like a box. It says vegetable stock, 2nd shelf. Okay, so I'm stirring these vegetables into this cabbage. It smells wonderful. It looks wonderful. I got hands made, that's it. Thank you, baby. I got hands made of steel, so you see me put my hands down in this hot pot. But it's okay. And when you make my cabbage, it be cabbage everywhere. So it's falling on the stove and everywhere, but that's okay. So, all right. I'm going to add a little more Greek seasoning. And some black pepper. Put that in there. And then I'm going to add some pink Himalayan salt. Sprinkle that in there, like so, like that. Just a few pinches. And I'm going to give it another stir. Boy, this looks and smells good. This is going to be my fried cabbage. Alright, I'm going to turn the fire down just a little bit. I want you to get a look-see at it. I'm going to back it up so you can see it. And then I'm going to add some of this vegetable stock to help it to steam and cook down just a little bit. So I'm adding about, that may have been a quarter of or a half a cup. I'm going to put the lid on. And then the oven is back on you.
Alright. Perfect. Pull this up.
How many minutes we got?
Excellent.
Okay,
So,
we're doing good. We got about 10 minutes.
Alright guys, we're back with the sauteed mushroom. So, things have began to get a little bit brown in here. I'll show it to you. As you can see, nice and bright. Cooked very nicely. Now what we're going to do, let me pull this back down. Down to the ingredients there. Excellent. So, throw this off to the side. Now, I'm going to put out pickled ginger. The reason why it's pickled and not minced is because I usually put this in my green smoothies in the morning. So, I would recommend getting a minced ginger versus a pickled, but I got pickled, I can make it work. So a tablespoon of pickled ginger. Alright. I'll put my finger in there. I know. Excuse me. Just stuff it right down in there. You can use your ginger crusher for the pickled ginger. Just simply get a knife.
Oh my Lord. I just tasted them beans, Melvin.
You taste the beans?
I tasted them beans with that organic coconut sugar on top. Masterful. And that's the other thing I forgot to put in here. I gotta add some liquid smoke.
Excellent. So you got the ginger in there. Then you want to go ahead and add your sesame seeds. So just a tablespoon of simple sesame seeds. And then begin to stir that in. All right. Begin to stir that in real nicely. It usually only takes about 30 seconds. You'll know that the spices that the ginger has cooked and cooked well enough when you begin to get a light scent of the ginger in the actual mushroom. So it only takes about 30 seconds to a minute. And I might actually put a little bit more sesame seed in there just because I feel like it needs it.
Because that's your business.
Right. Excellent. So yeah, it's looking good. Now, what we're going to go ahead and do, we're going to pick out our rice vinegar. We're going to put 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar in. And we're going to get our coconut liquid aminos soy-free seasoning. So it's basically soy sauce, but healthy. 2 tablespoons if I didn't say that. Begin to stir that in. Stir that in real nicely. And once again, I mean, if you're an Asian enthusiast like myself, you know, this is something that you definitely want to try. But as you can see, there's a little bit of liquid in there. Just continue to cook until the liquid kind of dissipates, caramelizes, which could take about, you know, anywhere between a minute to 3 minutes. So we'll stand here and cook this. Make sure for the most part the heat is on medium. If you guys have any recommendations on some Asian recipes that you would like to see us or like to see me cook, go ahead and put it down in the chat. Go ahead and do that. Any other questions for me, simply just throw it in the chat and then I'll be able to see them and then I'll respond to them promptly. But yeah, this is a great little dish here on the side that I like to cook. So let's get back to it.
You gotta plate some of that up and let us see you taste that.
Okay, so yeah, so you can see like the juices are beginning to kind of caramelize, so that's good right there. I'm gonna turn my heat down just a little bit more. And actually what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it off the heat, so you can simply take it off or just hit.
And then you gotta add don't you have to add the scallions?
Well, I got the scallions here. That's we're gonna garnish it with scallions.
Okay,
right?
so you don't have to stir it.
Right, you don't have to necessarily cook the scallions in with it. You can. I'm just gonna kind of garnish. I might throw it in for a little bit on the pan just to get them cooking a little bit. But once you turn the heat off, now you add your sesame oil. You know, most people think, oh, why didn't you cook with the sesame oil initially? But in terms of flavoring, in order for the flavors to savor very well, the best way to do that for mushrooms is just save it to the end and then begin to mix in your sesame oil. So you're gonna need about 1 or 2 tablespoons of this.
Now look, y'all, these beans that I done ate half of the bowl. you want
You know, I'm gonna
a
turn
bowl or something to put it in so you can present it?
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and turn my heat back on. I turn my heat back on in about the number 2 or 3 settings. And I'm gonna throw my scallions on top. But as you can see, this is what it's gonna kind of look like. That's when you know it's done. It's nice and brown. The juices are kind of caramelized. Sesame seeds are popping out so you can see them.
Here's a bowl.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mama.
Okay, how much time we got?
I'm gonna throw these in there.
We got 3 minutes. And then we're gonna have to come back.
Alright. So that's in there. Mom, you can go ahead and do your thing.
Okay, this won't take me long, but I'm just gonna show you. Bring the camera over here closer, Melvin.
Okay.
Just slide the whole. I'm gonna do this real quick, and then we're gonna have to stop and come back and do part 2. But okay, so this is this red, spicy red slaw. So here's my red cabbage, and to that I'm going to add some celery, red onion, cilantro, and in between there you can't see it, but those are jalapeno peppers. Gonna add all that to this. Put it in there, like so, like that. And then we're gonna just toss it. Gonna toss it. It's a beautiful sight, and the flavors and the smell, it's just wonderful. Okay, so you see that? All right, and now my sauce that I'm gonna put over it is going to be some crushed garlic. Some crushed garlic. Okay, I'm going to do the sauce on the second video because I can see that we're running out of time. All right, so hold your move. We'll be back. Bye-bye.